Lei aveva questa R moscia che gli dava una...
Today, no music. Angelo Badalamenti.
Angelo Badalamenti.
Angelo Badalamenti.
He said, oh, that's it. Oh, it's so beautiful. Angelo. Oh, he's tearing my heart out. I love that. Just keep it going. Now, she's starting to leave. So far down. Keep falling. Keep falling. Keep falling. Now go back into the darkness.
Stefania, Chiara è una persona solare, mi dicevi.
Solare, simpatica, semplicissima, che amava studiare, si è laureata a pieni voti.
Abbiamo visto anche ieri sera filmati.
Ci risiamo di nuovo, siamo di nuovo dentro.
Il 13 agosto del 2007 entri in casa di Chiara Poggi e la uccidi?
No.
Come lo parli? Maestro, simple. David Lynch, it's December 12, sorridi secondo Friday, December 12, 2025, David, slightly Mr. Lynch, can you hear me from here? Because, and if he can believe it. It's a Friday, once again. 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 In Naples. wishes to Medjenamik. Yes, 55th birthday to this great actress and beautiful woman. Tell me I love you, Medjen. You are was born 2 days before my sister, so a very happy great birthday to you, or to Era. Auguri, Medjenamik.
Auguri, Medjenamik.
The mid sky slide mostly cloudy. However, the mid is an adjective that means the alternate clear sunny day alternated with cloudy sunny stratosphere in general, alternating with the clouds, a cloudy day stratosphere in general, alternating with the sun. It's also interesting now. It's early afternoon, 13 and 24 minus 59 Fahrenheit, 15 Celsius. This means that it's a really soft. This fact soft is cascade to use for the autumn to spring periods. Questa cosa per essere così per si effect diciamo la nostra stagione sentina nel fuori adesso effect we pass the fuori adesso the first right the last pass sun perhaps someone from me remember pass last pass sun I think body also effect that many weeks ago we entered in autumn now in fact also for the autumn and fuori adesso the forza at not top usually not for the seasons so winter spring center 3 years in practically 9 days we enter in winter also for the winter we come fuori adesso the forza perhaps someone who remember if a body I suppose indeed, I'm sure. But I see at the end the same thing, so the same. At the same time, some propose back the version to China, it's better than perhaps paradox for me. And I didn't do interrogation for the winter spring and summer, fact for winter, so ci sia quello che spring and summer adjective soft for example, adjective also, so the general for the season to be as adjective, and as you can see, it's a test for me, was a thing was in the assoluto in complete better surely yes in fact for this video because for 2 reasons. First one is the passage from example to the other, and the second one is to put the last identity change the temper of the result and many weeks ago and which now the eye is completely changed, it's completely pleasant, not pleasant, surely really good with the eye I mean the same temper of the vissuto some what is things because the condition situation if not pleasant surely really good but pleasant is for me because I don't feel cool like other people and when I come questi better things, I really explain better things past weather reports the winter and reports of the past year so possono reclamare su winter che si mette better things so at I meet non for other people from a little thing not to see cool from a little thing from another little thing yes or these dimensions or very in general for me also in stia ma to scritto su in general I don't know if you can just for it's Buddha, so if I can be some machines on this. It's a Friday once again, sono visto fuori la serie di Friday. It's a Friday once again, sono visto fuori la serie di Friday. It's a Friday once again, sono visto fuori la serie di Friday. I should never do this. I should never do this. Fantastic red, black, and also white reason. This is the 5th illustrated with the bots. I'm using it, I think it's more than for 5 months and a half. I always also lost the count on this thing. Because we cut when I speak about two breakfasts, I don't do it one time. So I damage with this Friday, just started the show. It to you, and this is the two previous. This is new because obviously in comparison with the two previous it was the red, respectively third red and white, fourth blue and white razors, and they crashed, if I'm not mistaken, 3 weeks later, since the moment I started to use it. Obviously it's good because it's new, and only fuso don't know it, my birth list 30 minutes or actually 30 minutes, and until a few weeks, 2 weeks ago, in 2 different rounds, because it's a battery listed maximum 50 minutes maximum, while since 2 weeks, once again one round because we changed the battery, and so very good, and I with this show to you better once again because perhaps before you don't see it well, so because before perhaps you didn't see it well, so red, black and also white. And repeat once again, this is the fifth reason to start with the person in general, con questi forciani di questa droghi sulla porta di inizio, la persona si è messa che parte per sotto il bice, mettiamo anche buone chance, si può, se non c'è per me, io ci siamo solo se penso posso io, ora posso sia chi per i gatti. Mi chiedi di altro, 5 3 partecipanti, ripeti just before 59 Fahrenheit, 15 Celsius. Altro, mi prendi in questa atmosfera, 75 gradi. Before doing this. Yes, that is the curtain, as you know, this is a curtain in general, as many minutes time, should be almost perfect. This is supposed to be a very good this. Pratica, most lovely. Yes, medium, is an Intel sky. According to with Tyre, considering with Tyre, considering my sensations and other things, I think that it's possible that or I'm most sure that later after this really after at became totally mostly cloudy and also that the rain for a few months later I think we're reclusi and we see let's see what happens. But as well as no bisogna vicinanza wizard si può iniziare scheme today here bad action facility so si isero mi dico quindi new white curtain with the green flowers and the flowers mixed with the plants. This is a new curtain since last November 1 was also the birthday, in particular the birthday of the previous curtain away with the beautiful printer bench that to rip and only thing si passa c'è una presso new curtain and nothing related to it. Si want my comments in comment section, it should be the fourth or perhaps point 2 or third in the first comment, I see comment sections. Well, I don't know if you can see it really well from the shot nearby me. If you can, yes. Green flowers mixed with the plants. Long flowers mixed with the plants. Or even better, surely better. From this other shot, it's the first part of the video which per usual shot you the sky, the atmosphere, the weather, the sky atmosphere in general from the window. Also from this other part is a classical shot similar to and also from this other part is a shot similar to the classical shot of film more classical for the curtain, perhaps also for the first curtain color, even if it non remember exactly in seconds. Sure the color curtain is still in the cover image of the channel. So sono io che time quando I change it and this shot is also related to the fact that above when there is the greater shoot and also when there is tomorrow when there is because if si mencionarsi dal test special standards sono si case reduce for the curtain also in this case for the perhaps also for the first curtain colored also in this case don't remember surely for the curtain so now I'll see read the select special standards also for the new curtain and the select special standards it is but also and always better visible but also and always better visible for me it's entirety in the shot anticipanti measures. As regarding the shooter to Tunisia, but not Tunisia, not visible in the first days of October. If I don't remember, but also doing not visible, and also in case I led the select special sense for the continuous so valid also for it, so I repeat once again, but also and always better visible for me, its entirety, it a shot, anticipanti measures. And finally, from a mythical keyboard, GX 640 PG 625, also in this case, similar shot. Neva, it's molto piccolo, fa la velocità di forza e si legge indicatoria. Sono un buon system. So myself, faccio due schiese, and finally, I hope you will get breakfast. Let's eat in general, also for me, as fact, I say, let me for us, but the all important is very different. Dragon reaction, so many it was Saudi in fact, breakfast, Fiantani, assembly, I start to eat, Fiantani, part of the test was yesterday, so I think that record is record, is a 3, is to essere what do I repeat? Today, close here the record. It was for members. They're just slowly obviously just in 13 and 24 minutes. But the important thing to show us embassy in some way also the first one is on Emily Lamley. And as we always say, si sono mosse thing forward. Absolutely. Svolse di Monza che si finca senza il nostro maniera si dice il bilancio di Piro io stesso conto di single l'effetto varese infatti con Friday ma ripeti di dice il bilancio di Piro sono niente che ci per su da presi te promise ho detto non si che sei promise to you at one time sono niente da ma c'è che potessi lui presi detto di c'è so sì influenzare non so bisogno si inizia a giocare più influenzare non so bisogno se inizia a giocare più so che mettono suonia mette sempre lo shot influenzare a bisco stare a me favorite fact tra me bišu combo su bišu bisku francies fica tona best not best kind of steps chocolate chip cookies chips chocolate chocolate chips fatto questo dico adesso fatto biscuits mi sa dice in particolare altro thing se vede all'inizio festival si parte mica fatto un shot non è che si coffee così fatto sono quick chocolate fatto su notare sono shot fragment video sono shot non la sta finché 5-6 months Inizia finché should be time in the period, also in case lose lost account, some internet there was no money, quick definition. Now there is one second, so we brought it one second, it's I think 155, 25, 26, 27 days. So in case lose lost account, should be time in the period, some internet there and since at the moment, let's say I pattern started it one second in milk, so very good news. Quindi si also effect in case back, adesso bomb last period in particolare, mega bomb. And in false case, in last period it's a joke because result about most 1 year. So of course I'm referring to first time to that period. And if in some way we also consider toll Nicholas breakfast was a mega bomb. And as regard the second thing is about the CS, even if WCS Conad, Italian Serials, mi sa in presa position. Because at the first position for me era Pamma. Italian Serials, incluso tu le comando motivo because they are really super bad. I'll see you tomorrow, as opposed to today. I don't know until tomorrow. What will you happen? How are you, see?